Well, Sneha, news that's just coming in again, reports from local media in Sri Lanka is that several SLPP, which is the party of the Rajapaksas, so several SLPP MPs have written a letter seeking resignation and asking the president to resign so they can appoint an all-party government and a new prime minister, which means that the SLPP still wants to hold on to power, keep the reins of the government, and have asked for a change in leadership. That certainly speaks volumes of the kind of hatred that people now have shown towards dynasty politics, Sneha, and they are asking the Rajapaksas to move out of the political sphere, the political spectrum in Sri Lanka. And this is coming from none other than the party. So this is yet again another country with another with the party in control seeking a change in leadership. We saw that in the UK. There is no comparison, but just saying that the same party now is seeking a change in leadership. No more Rajapaksas is what they're saying. They want a new government with a new president and a new prime minister. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, who was appointed to put up a united front in this tremendous financial crisis that the country is facing, has had to deal with a lot in terms of the uphill task to get funds for the country. And now, like you're rightly pointing out, it's not just about getting fuel from Russia. They've looked at the Russia option. They're looking at the India option. India, in some reports, we've already seen that India says that Sri Lanka will have to make advance payments for fuel, because India has already sent out a huge credit line when it comes to helping them financially, the financial aid package that India provided to Sri Lanka. Besides that, they're still looking at the international community, IMF, but there are no takers. And lastly, the most important ally, so-called ally and economic partner of Sri Lanka, is absolutely amiss from this entire scenario, where Sri Lanka has had to face the brunt of very, very bad economic decisions and change in governments, where infrastructure projects were put on hold, but the money that was taken as loan was used. And that country is China, absolutely amiss in this crisis, has not come to Sri Lanka's rescue or help. But when it comes to keeping a strategic stronghold, they were the first ones to look at Sri Lanka as a strategic asset and wanted to get inroads, have a foothold in the country. But today, we don't see China really coming out and helping the country in the manner in which they should have, and rescuing them from this financial crisis that really was kicked off because of many of the projects or the loans taken from China, or projects that China is indeed involved in too. We're not saying that that's the only reason why. There have been a lot of terrible economic decisions. One government comes to power, puts other governments' decisions and infrastructure projects on hold, uses the infrastructure for purposes that it was not built for, like the airport in Hambantota had been made a granary storage space, so on and so forth. So very bad decisions, and now the country is facing the worst crisis ever. In terms of a country, globally also, we've not seen...
Be with us, Geeta. I'll just come back to you. We are being joined by our Rajagopalan, senior journalist. Thank you so much for your time, sir. You know, several times, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has really sidestepped so many demands for his resignation that has come in many, many weeks together. Was this inevitable in that sense? These were peaceful protesters who have now turned extremely violent and occupying the president's official residence.
It's a very, very sad situation, and your editor Geeta Mohan has explained it very well. My understanding, taking the clue from Madam Geeta Mohan, I would like to say the crisis in Sri Lanka is grave. The China and the Russia have given their, lost hope on Sri Lanka, because the economy of Sri Lanka based on tourism is over now in Sri Lanka. No one goes to Sri Lanka, and moreover, Sri Lankan embassies in the world are being closed. That's a grave situation, financially, economic-wise. They have no kerosene, they have no petrol, and they are looking for Russia and other countries. India helped its maximum. My understanding is, day after tomorrow, when the Cabinet Committee on Security meets, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will take stock of the situation, and Mr. Jaishankar, a Sri Lanka expert, will definitely give his opinion. My understanding, madam, if you want to have a South Indian perspective, from Tamil Nadu, if you understand this, whatever is happening in Sri Lanka will affect Tamil Nadu per se. Tamil Nadu law and order problem, because there are spillover refugees and militants in the garb of the banned LGBT organization. They will be, coming into Tamil Nadu, which is a very crisis situation. Second thing, most important is, day after tomorrow, when the Cabinet Committee on Security in the Government of India meets, definitely they will arrange for the security of refugees. Second, whether they have to help the Sri Lankan crisis with more monetary aspects, health-wise, food-wise. They don't have bread, they don't have rice cooker. Can you believe? There are 25,000 pressure cookers have been sent last week to Sri Lanka. Therefore, Sri Lankan community as such are facing immense crisis. There is going to be a feminine type of situation in Sri Lanka. Therefore, it is going to affect India's security also, which is major apprehension.
Absolutely. Mr. Rajagopalan, you did say that as far as Sri Lankan Tamil refugees coming to Tamil Nadu is concerned, this is something that has been flagged off as well in the past, and the situation might just get even worse from here on, is what you suggested.
It is going to be worse. It is going to be a challenge for Mr. M.K. Stalin, the DMK Chief Minister, because the spillover, madam, it is only 10 kilometers, which is the border from Tamil Nadu to Sri Lanka. They come by boat. You can't restrict them if they come in huge numbers. And many of them have gone to Australia, many of them have gone to Philippines, many of them have gone to other countries by boat. So therefore, it's a crisis situation. People are running away from Sri Lanka. It's a crisis, like as Geeta Mohan explained it very well. My understanding is also same thing. Economic-wise, political-wise, no world capital has recognized Sri Lanka so far. Ranil Wickremesinghe is sworn in as the Prime Minister 2 months ago, but no foreign country greeted him. Can you believe that? Because Ranil Wickremesinghe, cannot manage this type of thing. Today, he has just now called for a special session of the Parliament to discuss about the Rajapaksa fleeing Colombo.
Absolutely. Be with us. I'm just going to go across to my colleague from Tamil Nadu, Chennai. In fact, I'll just go back to Akshaya in a bit from now as we stay with these pictures from Colombo, where initially tear gas shells were fired at the protesters. Thousands of them gherawing the official residence of the President of Sri Lanka, Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The popular sentiment is that the Rajapaksas must go. This is dynastic politics, and that the family must go essentially. Mahinda Rajapaksa was forced to step down.